Strasburg, New York, they used to say this all the time. Um, Thin skin and a tough soul, which I think is so true because you need to be able to give a lot of yourself for the sake of the art, but have this sort of strong foundation within you. And I think that is great advice as for an actor in any scene, but also, you know, for an actor in the industry, because you have to come to this place where you understand yourself and you're comfortable within yourself and you know yourself. And I think having that awareness about oneself and ability to be open and honest is so important as an actor, because you need to have some solid ground.
Taylor Ann Thompson.
Well, thank you for having me, Rachel.
I am thrilled. Where to begin? I thought I'd ask you, who is Taylor Ann Thompson?
Oh my God, starting off with the big questions. Taylor Ann Thompson is changing. She is growing. She has been acting her whole life and only found that she really loved acting through the teachings of Rachel. I really did not even, I mean, I grew up as a child actor, as you know, but
Yes.
I didn't find my love for acting until I really joined your class when I was 13. And I tell everyone that. And once I joined your class at Strasberg, I truly fell in love with the studying of acting and the art of acting. And I haven't stopped studying since. So I really owe it all to you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm deeply honored. I remember your early work so well. You had come to Strasbourg when you were a little girl, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I did the Young Actors program.
Okay, so you were a little girl, a young girl at Strasbourg, and then you left, and then you came back, and by then I was teaching every single Saturday in the Young Actors
Yeah.
program. And
Hmm.
you are one of many of our very successful alumni, including Lady Gaga, Angelina Jolie, Taylor Ann Thompson. I think it's a breeding ground for really well trained young actors. To get it so young is a gift. Was it your choice to be an actress? Because I know you grew up in an industry household. Did you get the bug earlier, or were you encouraged?
I was very much encouraged. I mean, my first job was when I was 4 years old, and there was this huge casting call for a Rob Reiner movie with Jack Nicholson, Morgan Freeman, and my dad, who is in the industry, thought, "Hey, why not? Let's just audition Taylor. Like, let's just put her out for it." And I happened to get the role, which is just crazy luck to start my trajectory into acting. And after that, I worked here and there, but I my parents were never forced it. My parents were always like, if you ever want to quit this, you totally can. But I felt this need to do it, even over desire. Like as a kid, I was like, I need to continue to do this, but I don't exactly know why. Thank God I did, because when I got older and I started going to class, um, that's when I actually found that I loved it. And I really was not encouraged to go to class either. Like, I think I just wanted a community of people that were experiencing the same thing as me, because, being a child actor is kind of difficult. So I think I just wanted a sense of like belonging and community where I could grow with other kids. And yeah, that's where I learned that I loved it.
And that is the beauty of studying as a teen also, because not to mention being a child actor, but also just being a teenager and having a
Mm,
place to come every week and be able to be yourself and accepted for all aspects of your personality, of the
right.
emotions you're going through. I remember I used to say, "Bring me your teen angst."
Right. No, I
And
remember that. And Strasbourg particularly is so interesting for that. And I'm really grateful that I studied at Strasbourg throughout my childhood, not only for acting purposes, but I genuinely feel like it helped me grow emotionally as a kid. because you're constantly encouraged to like explore what you're feeling. And, I think that's something that not all kids get to explore or feel comfortable doing. So I grew up kind of having this like emotional intelligence that I don't think I would have had otherwise.
I love that, emotional intelligence, and we need that as actors. Wow.
Mhm.
You're very aware of yourself, which is what actors need to be. My mom used to always say, "You're always taking your temperature." But yes, we are. We're aware of what we're experiencing, and that's how we're
Right.
able to understand the world and play all these different parts. What makes you a unicorn is that you were working this whole time, and then you said, "I need more," and you went to NYU Tisch. You just graduated. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bachelor of Fine Arts?
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Thank you so much.
And I know you had an interesting journey there from Playwrights Horizons and then heading over to New York, Strasberg to
Right.
continue the training you did as a teen. What was that like?
It was wonderful. Um, I had a particularly interesting college experience because my last year of high school, my first year of college was the COVID years. So it was just all wreaking havoc. So when I first got to NYU, I was put into Playwrights Horizons Theater School. And it was an unfortunate experience because not the school particularly, but the way I was kind of introduced to that studio because I was on Zoom and I really couldn't get an understanding of it. And acting classes on Zoom are really difficult. I'm sure you know. So that was a hard introduction. So I very quickly was like, okay, I need to go somewhere safe. I need to go somewhere I know. I need to go somewhere that I know that I'm going to grow from. So I fought really hard to go to Strasbourg because at NYU you're not supposed to switch after the first year. You have to wait 2 years. So the second, and I'm sure would have loved Playwrights Horizons if it wasn't that specific time, but I just really missed Strasbourg. So I went to Strasbourg and had such a great experience. And it was a completely different experience from going to the Young Actors program in LA. It wasn't particularly like good or, bad compared to it. It just felt like more intense and it felt more because I was in school doing it. And um, it just felt like I have kind of leveled up. I had reached a point where I could really, really implement all that I had learned into my scenes. And there was a lot more pressure too, because it was in like the academic environment as well, which I love. So Strasbourg was really fantastic at NYU. It was really great. I had wonderful teachers. I did so, so, so much sensory. Like for 2 years straight, I did, oh my God, so much sensory. And really developed like it's really funny how, they say like you need to practice sensory every day when you're in method class. And it really does help. It really does help because by
Agreed.
the end of it, you are so immersed into it, and you can just tap into it just like that. And then you're in it. It's like a muscle memory. So anyway, I could go on and on about Strasbourg in New
I
York. It
love
was
your
wonderful.
passion. Yeah, that you studied for so many years and you're still in love with it. And whatever technique, anyone listening, if you're lucky to find a way in, right? That's what we're all trying to find, a way in, a
Right.
truthful way in. Then you're blessed because you have that with you and it gives you a sense of security and confidence having technique, doesn't it?
It does. It does. I will say though also, um, this summer was really interesting for me because when I did the Lifetime movie that just came out,
Yeah,
Ladies
we're
of the
gonna talk.
80s, A
We
Davis
want to talk.
Christmas.
Wait. Let's give that a big introduction. Taylor just had a leading role in Ladies of the '80s, A Diva's Christmas. Let's talk about the actresses who were in that. Can we name them?
Oh yes. I had the pleasure of working with Lonnie Anderson, Linda Gray, Nicolette Sheridan, Morgan Fairchild, and Donna Mills. The fabulous divas, ladies of the 80s. It was really an unbelievable experience. I really learned from the greats. It was like a master class in acting, which I cannot wait to talk about. Um, what I was saying in terms of technique is when I first started prepping for this movie, this is the first thing that I really had to prep for. I mean, I've done theater, I've done big roles in theater, but this was the first, professional gig that, I really felt that pressure of, oh my God, I need to like have this prep time. And when I first started reading the script and figuring things out, it was very much a learning curve for me because I'm a very big visual learner. I'm a very big perfectionist. So I had to figure out a way to use all that I'd learned at Strasberg and implement it into the whole script like on my own. And so that was just like it was just like riding the bicycle without the pedal, without so it
Break
was just
without
with
the break.
without the break. Yes. So it was really difficult because I'm also such a visual learner. So I kind of had to like deconstruct my entire script and I had it all over my wall. Like I looked crazy, but I needed to see it. I needed to figure out exactly what sensory to use throughout, what objectives to use. Like there was a lot I needed to learn, but I found myself also um really trying to build a backstory for my character and being very specific about and very detail oriented about this character in terms of every little detail of their life. And I don't know, I don't that wasn't something that I particularly learned at Strasberg. I mean, I learned elements of it in terms of script
Mhm.
analysis and everything, but I just in order for me to feel comfortable being on set, I felt I needed to know everything and like build everything. So I kind of used a bunch of things from everything that I've ever learned, in addition to Strasberg, and it wasn't confusing at all. It really did help me get into the shoes a bit more.
No, I do think we pull from everything, everything we're ever exposed to, every training, every teacher. We take a piece of what we want. I love the way you work so detailed. I'm a big proponent of that. So you played a director, which is
Yeah.
very interesting to me, and they were coming together to do a Christmas special, and you were the romantic lead, and you have a romance with a producer. This is what I
Mm.
got from watching your interview
Yes,
on
yes.
Instagram. Okay, so that's interesting because you've been around so many directors, so you kind of could understand your
Mhm.
creative job, what you were there to do. Did you feel intimidated working with these women who had been in the industry so long, or did you, because you made such solid choices, hold your own?
I mean, first day jitters, you're always nervous walking into any set or any production. I was very nervous. But the second we actually started talking, getting to know each other, I felt so safe. They were so encouraging and supportive of me. Like I think it was probably because I was very nervous going into it and I put in a lot of work. Like I came very prepared.
Mm.
And I think they respected that a lot and definitely we're
How
just
did
we're just giving me advice.
Yeah, how did they know that you were so prepared? Did you come and ask questions? Were you prepared to have discussions? How did they know that?
Yeah, I came, I asked a lot of questions. I was talking to the director a lot, um, always on time. Just seeing that I really had prepared all of the scenes. I'd known my lines. I had choices for everything I was doing. Every take, I did kind of something different. I think they were really excited to work with me in that regard and just the entire time encouraged me and you know would tell me all the advice that they gave me was crazy. I mean, because they're reverends of the industry, they know exactly how the light should be on their face. They know exactly how you should project and use your voice. They know they know every part of filmmaking, so well. And it was just a masterclass. It was
What
unbelievable.
That's great. So what did you take away from that in terms
Mhm.
of the technical, in terms of what you can ask for next time?
Well, it's so funny because they know exactly their good angles, and I know this isn't really it's part of Hollywood. It's part of Hollywood, but they
Yes.
know exactly what you know lighting and what positioning makes them look good, which is so interesting and they're super aware. They're super aware of where the camera is always. There's never a mistake moment. Like they're always on their game because they know where everything is, and they like purposefully position themselves in the way that they can be seen. And I found that really interesting. um
These are
I'm
also leading women, that are known for their beauty, that were
mhm,
stars in the 80s on all these epic shows.
epic shows, yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. And you coming from a different time in television that's a little bit more like you worked on Shameless, for example. That's a little bit
Right.
more reality based.
Right, right. No, yeah. It was definitely so interesting to watch. I mean, also the shows they were on in the 80s, I were the only and biggest shows in television, and
Right.
they were
Dallas,
on it.
Knots Landing, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, big ones.
And they were on them for so long. So I can imagine, to be in that environment for so many years, that TV world, you have to, especially during the 80s, like that was a very specific time. So yeah, but more than anything, all the little technical things that they taught me, I really, really got a crash course in standing my ground with these women. I have never been so inspired by like the female power on a set before. They are so matter of fact and sure of what they want, and they do not hesitate at all to ask for it and make sure that they get it in a way that's so respectful and so just confident and sure of themselves.
Mm.
And it's hard being a woman in the industry, and I think it really taught me that I have to mean business and stand my ground in every single set environment. Any place that you feel uncomfortable, you don't feel listened to, you have to stand your ground. And I think that these women taught me that more than anything.
Wow, what a big lesson. And
Mm-hmm.
and to carry that into life as well. But yes, especially on set for you. That's phenomenal. Um, the movie's out now on Lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
correct? We can see it on
Yes, it's
Lifetime?
also streaming now on Amazon Prime, and I think it's on Hulu too. But yeah, you can
No,
watch it anywhere.
I'm watching it tonight because I didn't have Lifetime, Amazon Prime. I'm so
Mhm.
excited. You've done a few Lifetime movies. What is it
I've
like
done
working on them?
4.
4.
Yes. Oh, it's fun. It's fun. Every Lifetime movie has been so different. Um,
Wasn't your
I
first
mean,
one? Your first one was with Lindsay Lohan, right?
yes, Liz and Dick. I played a young Kate Burton. I mean, I was so young. I was so young, and I'm so sad that I don't remember all of it. But that was a particularly big over the top set. Like there was a lot that went into that, and it was very fun. No, Lifetime movies are really wonderful because a lot of the movies that I've done for them have such a greater cause or greater meaning. I did two Lifetime movies, Black Girl Missing and Amish Grace, that had a lot of heart, and based on true stories, and shed light upon like several charitable organizations. So I really love Lifetime for that they tell really important stories and spread awareness. And then Liz and Dick and Ladies of the 80s are just fun. I mean, Liz and Dick was very much a biopic, and this movie has just a lot of heart. And so, there's been a wide variety of movies that Lifetime has done, and I'm very grateful to have been a part of them.
That's wonderful. You have kept your beautiful spirit, humility, grace, power, all the things I have known as young Taylor. I've had the honor of watching you grow into a beautiful woman, human being. Um, I know that it's not easy being an actress in LA. You are now based in LA, not New York, right?
Right, right.
Okay. And so how do you see, the next 5 years for yourself? What are you anxious to do? Are you going to continue your training? Are you going to write or produce anything?
Mm.
A lot of
Um,
questions.
Great question. I It's so funny because the second I finished school and finished the movie, I really missed training. And I went back to training. I took a class at Stella Adler, just to experience it, just to see it. So that was great, but I think that as an actor, I will always train, and that is something that I will consistently do throughout my life. I think for the next 4 months, I'm gonna take a little hiatus on training and kind of reflect more on everything that I have learned, because I tend to go really fast all the time and just, do this after this after this. And I think I want to take this time to reflect. 2024 is about reflecting for me. Um, but I mean, there's so much I want to do. I really want to do more dark comedy and drama. I would love to do features. I would love to do TV. There's so much good TV out right now. I would also love to do plays. There's so much that I just want to act. I really just want to work. I'm writing a feature with my roommate. So that's been a really great experience for us and for me. And you learn so much as an actor by writing. I mean, the greatest actors are writers too, because you have such a heightened understanding of everything that goes into it. So I've been writing, I've been doing a lot of short films. There's been a lot I've been doing, but really manifesting the next 5 years, um, having the ability eventually to really be specific about the projects that I am working on and doing stuff that I'm really passionate about, telling stories that hold a lot of meaning and heart, and I think are really going to make a difference.
Mhm.
So I think the goal within these next few years is to basically get to a point in my career where um, I'm able to do all that I love and all that I find meaning in, whether that be writing or acting or all of the above.
Okay, great. It's all about meaning. It's all
Mhm.
about, you know, aligning yourself with something that matters. And that's what grounds you in this business. For me, having purpose with my work and
Right.
self expression. And it sounds like that's what you're talking about. Another thing that's very important to you is mental health awareness.
Yes.
And I would love to address that, first to hear whatever you want to say, and then to talk about that in correlation to acting in this industry.
Yeah, so in high school, I dealt with a lot of mental health issues, and I went to therapy and I recovered. And when I came back to school, um, I really understood the stigma behind mental health. There was a lot of misunderstanding and kind of assumptions made about me because of what I had been through, even though no one knew what I'd been through. And this immediately raised a flag for me of like, wow, I had never really realized just all of the all of the terrible misconceptions and ideas around mental illness and mental health. So I started a club at my school where called Mental Health Awareness Club, where I kind of, I wasn't a trained clinician. The Mental Health Awareness Club kind of offered a place for people to meet and kind of talk to a group of people about everything they were going through. And that was really that was really amazing and inspiring, hopefully for those people. And after that, I decided to do sort of a video diary journal situation on TikTok. Not for any particular reason, but TikTok, I was kind of new to it and I wanted to kind of track the ebbs and flows of all of my emotions each day. And it gained some traction, which came as such a shock to me. And this community of people was kind of built, um, who found comfort in all of these videos and all of the ebbs and flows of the emotions, and found a place to share what they were going through in the comments. And it was a very, very supportive environment on TikTok, which also really inspired me and gave me hope about TikTok, because, sometimes on TikTok, it's not the most, there's a lot that you can do on TikTok, but you wouldn't think all the time TikTok being a vessel for change. But it really became that. So I was really grateful to have had that experience and meet all those people on TikTok. I don't really use it anymore because I filmed videos every
Every day. Are those videos still
single day
available?
for like over a year.
Over a
And
year.
that was wonderful. It was a lot. Yeah, they
Are
are.
they
They are.
they are. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My TikTok is
What is it?
my TikTok is Tayan Thompson. So it's just my Instagram handle, Tayan Thompson. Um, but yeah, and people still watch them, and I don't ever want to put them down because people still find comfort in going through them and watching them. And um, so yeah, that was a wonderful experience I had. And then after that, I had the pleasure of going on a podcast called Giving Back Generation, where I talk specifically about everything that I'd been through with mental health. And that was also really wonderful, not only for me because I got to talk about it and talk it out with a friend of mine too, but um, I talk specifically about eating disorders, which I feel like don't really get talked about as much still, especially on, in the mental health world. So I felt very happy that I was able to share my story with the hope that other people can learn from it and seek help.
I would think yes, absolutely, 100%. I would think in the entertainment industry, there are a lot of eating disorders because so
Oh
much
yeah.
emphasis is put on what you look like, which
Mhm.
as an acting teacher, I could care less, right? It's about what's
Right.
inside, what you can express. But if you don't, aren't exposed to the importance of what's inside, or if you just, if for any reason you have an eating disorder, how do you think the industry is taking care of its own in that aspect?
I think that's why I feel so passionate about talking about it because um, I don't feel that the industry so far has taken care of that at all. I think for many years the industry encouraged it, in my opinion, and I think I think eating disorders are very common for a variety of reasons in the industry because it offers a sense of control,
Mhm.
at least in my experience.
In and out of
If
control career.
Right, exactly. I think it offers a sense of, okay, well, if I can't control whether or not I'm going to work or I'm going to get this part, I can control exactly what I look like and I can control exactly what I'm taking in and what I'm doing to my body. And it's actually a really crazy situation though, because you think you're in control, but with the eating disorder, you're very much out of control because it kind of takes over you in that way. So I think that is definitely a big part of it. Also, image. I mean, that's such a huge part of Hollywood. And I really do believe that that is changing. I really don't think that the whole beauty standard thing is going to be, you know, a forever thing. I think we're kind of, honoring more art and humanity and
Mhm.
like realness. And I think I'm so grateful to be entering into the business at this time. And I think we still have a lot more to do and change, but I really have hope that it's going to be a better future for Hollywood.
Amen. I feel that too. I look at actors on commercials, on television shows. I look at people of all sizes, colors, shapes, genders, and I think it's much more inclusive than when
Hmm.
certainly when I entered. So, and definitely when you
Yeah,
entered. So, do you see yourself continuing to be an advocate in this area in a public way?
I really hope so. I would love to. I mean, obviously, I believe that anyone with a platform should be using it to make the world a better place. And, as I continue my career, um, if I do have the chance to have a wider platform, I will absolutely use that to discuss it. And I'm so passionate about talking about it, even in small circles with my friends. So no matter what, I will always be spreading awareness about it, whether on a big scale or a low scale. Um, but it's
It's
something
not
I'm very
even low.
passionate
You
about.
know, this is a great quote I once heard. You can be a prophet one person at a time.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so your
Yeah.
influence, is then a ripple effect. And I hope that actors listening know that you're in a super tough industry with incredible pressures on you, and that we all are kind to ourselves and
Yeah,
understanding
that's
to
so
ourselves.
important. I
Yeah.
think I really do. I learned this year that, as an actor, you have to really have, um, Strasbourg used to say, in Strasbourg, New York, they used to say this all the time. Um, Thin skin and a tough soul, which I think is so true because you need to be able to give a lot of yourself for the sake of the art, but have this sort of strong foundation within you. And I think that is great advice as for an actor in any scene, but also, you know, for an actor in the industry, because you have to come to this place where you understand yourself and you're comfortable within yourself and you know yourself. And I think having that awareness about oneself and ability to be open and honest is so important as an actor because you need to have some solid ground to kind of keep you in check when jumping from character to character or just being in the industry. So that's what I've been learning recently, that in order to be the best actor I can be, I have to be the best self I can be, as cheesy as that sounds.
No, not at all. Intertwined at every level,
Hmm.
physical, emotional, spiritual, which is what acting is, right? And
Yeah.
so, 100% agree. I want to end the podcast going back to the podcast where you began saying that you are Taylor Ann Thompson and you are changing. I love
Yeah.
that. I'm changing. I'm actively changing to know that's the flow of life, that you have that
Mhm.
understanding and that you're open to it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's just such a big part of the human experience, and I think that's the most exciting part. You always taught me about curiosity. I think about that all the time, to enter life not with any sort of fear or anxiety, but with just being curious. And I have developed that mentality so much, and it makes your life so much better. It makes it so
Mhm.
much more fun and
Fun.
exciting and artistic as well, because you're constantly wanting to know, you know, everything, and you want to explore everything, and you want to see everything. And
Mhm.
having curiosity is the best thing you can have as an actor, because then you have so much experience and excitement going into everything. So you taught me that more than anyone.
Oh, I'm thrilled and I'm glad that you're living by it. I think the more you don't know, the more you have to seek and look
Mm,
and not take for granted too. Yes.
right.
Here's to curiosity. Here's to 2024. Taylor, where can people
Yes.
find you, follow you, contact you?
You can find me on Instagram, Tay and Thompson. You can find me on TikTok if you want to look at those videos. Um, that's really my only form of social media. But yeah, reach out. I love being friends with actors. Also, I have like no actor friends in LA, so
Ah,
reach out to me.
there we go. There we go. I hope to see you this year, Taylor. I wish you the very best. I am watching your film tonight on Amazon. And again, that is Ladies of the 80s, A Diva's Christmas. And you know you'll be hearing from me as soon as I watch it.
Thank you, Rachel, so much love. This was such a great opportunity to talk to you.
So wonderful. Mwah. See you soon.
See you soon.
Taylor, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You are a breath of fresh air. I can't wait to see what's next for you and wishing you all the best always. If you'd like to hear more of my podcast, please visit my website, diaryofanactress.com. Enjoy the beginning of your 2024 and stay inspired.